Siyum, I have to really thank Shlomo for inviting me, because the feelings of inspiration from the Siyum, and especially Shlomo's remarks, make it worth coming even without my speaking. It was already worth coming. The Mishnah brings a pasuk, Mu'uvis lo yuchal liskain v'chesron lo yuchal imanais. Pasuk is describing where a person sometimes can make a mistake and he can't really correct it. V'chesron lo yuchal imanais, he can lose out on something and he can't make it up. And there's different ideas, different opinions as to what that's referring to. And one of them, in Chesron lo yuchal imanais, is where Chaveirav nimnu l'dvar mitzvah, his friends decided to do a dvar mitzvah and he didn't join them. So the Marsha there writes, we're not speaking about where there's a mitzvah that he didn't join and didn't do himself. He gives an example. The person doesn't say Kriya Shema, he lost the mitzvah of Kriya Shema. Didn't say Tefillah, he lost the mitzvah of Tefillah. But if there's a group that's going to daven together and he doesn't join them, he davens at home. So he davened, but he didn't join them, so he lost that aspect, that dimension of doing it as part of a group. When you have learning, there's learning. Every yid tries to learn every day, and it's very, very important. But there's a whole dimension that exists only when you're learning as a group. And that's something that, as much as a person can make time to learn, but if he doesn't have that aspect, he's missing a whole dimension in his learning. It's something that you just can't have unless you join a group and you're part of it. Rabbi Shlomo mentioned in his drasha, in the end of the Maseches Kiddushin, an interesting point which is very unique to Limud HaTorah. Children start to learn Mishnah and Gemara, and they're little children. They could be below bar mitzvah. And as time goes on, they're learning the same Mishnah and the same Gemara. And you'll have in a Beis Medrash, you'll have 12-year-olds, and you'll have 75-year-olds, 80-year-olds, and they're learning the same Mishnah and the same Gemara over and over again. But every time you look at it, you see something different. It's different because you've seen it more than once, and it's also different because you've lived more years. Shlomo mentioned this point. The Yemei HaZikna doesn't have to be that old Shlomo, but the Yemei HaZikna, as a person grows, as a person. He has life's experience. He begins to understand things he didn't understand before. So in my mind, my mind's eye, I could see, and that's the picture that I get from Shlomo, in this very interactive chabura, that's learning, that's very involved and very engaged. You have the perspective of all the people in the chabura. All their perspectives based on their own life's experience, based on their own way of thinking, their own understanding, and that's all being brought together in that same Mishnah and that same blot of Gemara. And as ideas are being exchanged and questions are being asked and answers are being suggested, it's the perspective of every single unique individual in this Chabura, which therefore creates a very unique product. The emes is that Shlomo sends me questions from the Chabura, and it's very impressive. It's very provocative. It's people who are thinking, people who are probing, people who want to understand, and the questions are questions with Chachma. Our bracha to Shlomo and all the Messiahim. I don't know which Masech is next. Sanhedrin? Okay. So that's a guarantee. If they're undertaking a Masechta the size of Sanhedrin, so that means we have a guarantee, and Yirtzeh Hashem, that all of us should be invited to the next Siyum. Kadosh Baruch Hu should give health and strength to everyone here to have the energy and the vibrance to remain Aduk and Torah. Shlomo described the umness of Torah, and he wrote saying that this yeshiva should continue to flourish, be marbek v'ayt shamayim, and it should continue to be a Kiddush Hashem. Amen.